Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can tell by the title, this is new bike day. This is not a TV, but this is how Poseidon, manufacturer of this bicycle, the Redwood, ships the bikes. So let's do an unboxing and we'll put it up on the stand and we'll see what this bike has to offer. This is their Redwood version. So it's a 650B 27.5 mountain bike. It's packaged pretty well. Look here, we'll put it up on the stand here in a second. So this is a size extra large with basically a 58 centimeter bike. And I'm 6'1", so I figured it'd fit me pretty good. We're looking at the limited colorway with the gold flake black. All right, so a few components on this bike. You have a 1x10 drivetrain. It's a microshift event with a clutch, which is really good. All right, we have a 1x system up front. We have mechanical disc brakes. Those are Tektro branded. And you have a rigid front fork. And also drop bars. So this should be interesting. For the price, a little bit over $900. Really can't beat it. And that's the benefit of being consumer direct bikes, right? So the cost saving goes to the customer too. So there's no overhead or whatnot if they have to manage a store, anything like that. They are located in Los Angeles, California. So it took about 5 to 7 days to get here. I think it took like 6 business days. So pretty good shipping. The box came in a really good condition. There was no breaks or dents or anything in the box. One thing to note about this bike specifically is, like I said, it comes with 27.5-inch wheels. They're 650B in the road world. It comes with 2.3-inch, and it can fit up to 2.6 on a gravel bike. That was a check in my book. It can also run a 29er wheel set, which is 700C in road world. It could fit up to a 2.1 or 2.2. It has through axles, 12 by 142. And then in the front, it's a through axle with a 12 by or 10 by 100. This bike retails at $949.99, so just under $1,000. And for that, with the specs you get on it, there's routing for, I think this is a dropper post route, so pretty good stuff. There's a few quirks and downsides to this bike, but we'll get to that in just a minute here. And this is the accessories it comes with. As you can see, there's a warranty card, some frame protector tabs, your normal reflectors, and pedals, and a thank you card. How to properly bed in your brakes. So what you want to do, and hopefully my audio doesn't cut out, is you want to come up to relatively pretty fast pace, and you want to hold both brakes at the same time. Do not slam them shut. Just tell them to a slow, steady stop. And then do that multiple times, say at least 15 times. Because you're trying to heat up the rotors and the pads to transfer that material over. All right, so we're off. First gravel ride. Wow, gonna be on the road here for a little bit. Right off the bat, the microshift event
shifts pretty good. I don't have any issues with that. Get on this a little bit. Oh, this is gonna be a little scary in the woods. Right now I have the tires pumped up to about 30 PSI because they're still in tubes. So once I get to the single track I want to hit, drop it down to about 25 PSI. Might make it a little smoother. Wheels aren't bad. Tires, they are a little on the aggressive side. So I went ahead and aired down my tires a little bit, probably to about 25 PSI. Give me a little bit more cushion. Oh yeah, this is like super aggressive. The only thing is there's no dropper post, so I'm like looking for a lever to drop my seat. This thing climbs great. The rigidity in the fork though is something to be not desired, but get used to it. So we're gonna take it through some of this junk here. These roots. Oh yeah, climbs like a goat. All right, here's a little tricky bit, rocks. So far so good. The power down here. Bike is fast. Even for its weight at 29 and some change. Pretty zippy. So drop her seat post, let's see how it takes the easy sense. Not too bad. Rear end kind of bounced out a little bit, but okay. First test on the single track went pretty good. I'd say that's it's a A+. Let's head back to the road, pump up the tires a little bit. Pump up the tires back up to 30 PSI. We're rolling. Pretty good, solid bike. Everything's pretty quiet. We'll go back to the house and we'll talk about what I think overall on it. So it's been a couple weeks. I intended to come home after that first ride, the initial ride, and talk about the bike, how it felt and everything, but I figured I wanted to give it a little bit more time. There was a couple things that had bothered me about the bike that I wanted to address and fix. The bike is really good. It's built well, I'll tell you that. And I think the bike is more geared towards backpacking. And I only say that because of all the mounting solutions that you have in the rear, and especially in the front here. And the tire choice that they selected for it, those Kenda tires, they're very aggressive. So a little bit further from gravel into kind of single track. And speaking of single track, when I did the ride, I kind of pushed it a little further, like boundary of gravel. The stuff I was riding on the video there, that was pretty nasty single track. I mean, for this kind of bike, full rigid, no suspension at all. So it was pretty rough, but I wanted to test it, right? And make sure everything held up strong, and which it did. The rims, they're really strong, but they are heavy. So there's a weight issue with that. And you could see that the bike has changed a little bit. First thing I did was I changed the housing for the brake lines. I ended up picking up some JAGWIRE Pro, I think it's Pro brake housing, because the original housing, when you pull the brakes and it's got compression, right? The housing itself is like a steel band that goes up like that, and then when you compress that down, you get I noticed on the trail a little bit is that you end up going a little too close to the bars. Think SRAM. I'm not really a fan of SRAM, but as you get modulation is what they call it. I call it, I want my brakes on top. So changing the housing over to that compressionless housing did a world of difference. The brakes are really right on top there. You squeeze just a tiny bit and you have brakes right away. So it's really good on that aspect. I ended up changing the crank and the bottom bracket, because the bottom bracket's a square taper. It's an older traditional style it has some weight issues. Once you change that, the crank arms have to change too. So I found a set of Dior cranks and ended up putting those on. That series number is M6000. And then the wheel set, that was the big thing, right? So I saved about 4 pounds just changing the wheels and tires alone. I mean, the bottom bracket did help out, but I took 4 pounds off this bike by just taking that, and that's rotational mass. So that's a big difference. I could feel it as soon as I put these tires and wheels on, and I went to go for a couple good cranks. Like the rotational weight, getting rid of that was the biggest thing, and it made the bike feel more like a gravel bike. These I bought from Hunt Wheels. It's aluminum, but they're the Mason Hunt collaboration 650B wheel set. I changed out the tires too, because those tires, the Kenda tires that come on the bike, they are not tubeless ready. So I've seen some YouTube videos where people have put sealant in them and they've held, but I just didn't want the aggressive tread pattern either, because for me, this bike is a commuter bike, and if I can't get on single track because of the weather or whatever else, I can pull this bike out of the garage, go for a quick spin. I did change the saddle to a WTB Volt saddle. Definitely more comfortable than the stock saddle. That's one thing that Poseidon spec'd on the bike that I didn't really care for, because it's a very slim saddle. Reminds me of the Physique saddles. I had one on my Orbea Occam, and I had to change that one right away too, because it was just not comfortable at all. Ride quality, the bike is great. For the price, you cannot beat that. For under $1,000 for this bike, and what it came with originally, perfect backpacking bike, man. You could take that out and just do some miles. And even if you want to run it traditionally stock on gravel and on the road, you can do that too. Kudos to Poseidon for getting this bike down to the price point it should be. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching the channel, guys. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys out in the trails, hopefully.